A barefoot kid walked into the most advanced tech company in Silicon Valley. "I can solve this," he whispered. The billionaire CEO burst into laughter. Then the boy's fingers touched the keyboard, and everything changed in 5 seconds. The security scanner beeped red when Liam stepped through the glass doors of Quantum Dynamics headquarters. 12 years old, barefoot, wearing jeans 2 sizes too big held up with a frayed rope belt, he clutched a worn USB drive like it contained the secrets of the universe. It did. Behind him, his 7-year-old sister Olivia waited on the sidewalk, too scared to come inside the towering building made entirely of glass and steel. She held Mr. Whiskers, the stuffed rabbit their father had given her 3 days before the accident that took his life, before everything fell apart, before they lost the apartment, the car, everything except each other, and a USB drive their dad had hidden in his old laptop. "Kid, you can't be here." The security guard's hand moved toward his radio. "This is private property. How did you even get past the front gate?" "I walked," Liam said, his voice steadier than his trembling hands. "I need to see Victor Blackwell. I can solve the Epsilon problem." The words hung in the air like a grenade with the pin pulled. Every head in the pristine lobby turned. The Epsilon problem wasn't just famous, it was legendary. A mathematical equation so complex that Quantum Dynamics had offered $50 million to anyone who could solve it. 5 years. Hundreds of the world's smartest mathematicians and programmers. 0 solutions. And here stood a barefoot 12-year-old claiming he could do it. The guard's expression shifted from annoyed to almost pitying. "Kid, listen. I don't know who told you about the Epsilon problem, but nobody told me. My dad worked here, James Cooper. He was a systems technician. He died 8 months ago." Liam's voice cracked on the word died, but he pushed through. "Before he died, he left me something. Said if anything happened to him, I should bring it here. Show it to Mr. Blackwell." The guard's face softened slightly. "I'm sorry about your dad, son. But Mr. Blackwell doesn't meet with—" "Is there a problem, Marcus?" A woman's voice cut through the tension, sharp but not unkind. Dr. Emily Watson, Chief Technology Officer of Quantum Dynamics, descended the curved staircase with the confidence of someone who'd earned her position through brilliance rather than politics. At 42, she'd helped build 3 of the most powerful AI systems in the world. But right now, she was looking at Liam with an expression he couldn't quite read. "Dr. Watson, this kid says he can solve the Epsilon problem," Marcus explained, clearly expecting her to dismiss the claim immediately. But Emily didn't laugh. Her eyes locked onto the USB drive in Liam's hand, then moved to his face, studying him with an intensity that made Liam want to look away. "You said your father was James Cooper?" Liam nodded, surprised she knew the name. "James was brilliant," Emily said quietly. "He fixed problems nobody else could see. And he talked about his kids constantly. Said his son was going to change the world someday." She paused. "He didn't mention you were 12. "He didn't know I'd been paying attention," Liam admitted. "Every night, after work, he'd sit at his computer working on something. Said it was important. Said if he could solve it, we'd never have to worry about money again. That I could go to any college I wanted. That Olivia could have everything she deserved." The lobby had gone completely silent. People in expensive suits pretended to look at their phones while clearly listening to every word. "And then he died," Liam continued, his voice getting quieter. "Accident at a construction site. He'd taken a second job because tech support didn't pay enough. Because we needed the money. Because—" His voice broke completely. Emily's expression softened. "Come with me. Let's go somewhere more private." "Dr. Watson, I don't think—" Marcus began. "Marcus, James Cooper was one of the most underestimated people I've ever known. If his son says he has something to show us, I want to see it." Emily looked at Liam. "Is your sister outside?" She was too scared to come in. "Bring her. She shouldn't be alone on the street." 5 minutes later, Liam and Olivia sat in a conference room that looked like something from a science fiction movie. One entire wall was a window overlooking Silicon Valley. The table was made of some material that seemed to glow softly, and in the corner, a coffee machine that probably cost more than their old apartment. Emily returned with 2 juice boxes and a package of cookies. Olivia grabbed them eagerly. They hadn't eaten since yesterday's food bank visit, but Liam couldn't stomach anything. His entire body was vibrating with nervous energy. "Before we go any further," Emily said gently, sitting across from them. I need to know something. Who's taking care of you two? The question Liam had been dreading. We're staying with a friend of Dad's, Liam lied. It's temporary, until the insurance money comes through. Emily's expression suggested she didn't believe him, but she didn't push. Okay, now show me what's on that drive. Liam pulled out the USB drive with shaking hands. It was old, scratched, with L+O written on it in their father's handwriting. Their initials. The last thing their dad had left them besides debt and memories. Emily pulled a laptop from a drawer. Not connected to any networks, Liam noticed. Security protocol. Smart. She plugged in the drive. The screen filled with code. Complex, beautiful, elegant code that made Emily's eyes go wide. This is... James wrote this. Every night for 3 years, Liam confirmed. He said he was close to something big, something that would change everything, but he never finished it. The epsilon problem, Emily breathed, scrolling through the code. He was trying to solve the epsilon problem. The door burst open. Victor Blackwell strode in like he owned the building, which he did. At 53, he'd built quantum dynamics into a $100 billion empire through a combination of genius, ruthlessness, and an absolute certainty in his own superiority. Emily, what's this about a kid claiming to solve epsilon? His eyes landed on Liam and Olivia, and his expression shifted to barely concealed contempt. These are children, in our secure facility. Victor, this is James Cooper's son. James was... I know who James Cooper was, Victor interrupted. A technician who fixed our coffee machines and pretended he understood quantum computing. And now his kid shows up with some flash drive full of amateur code? Liam felt heat rising in his chest. My dad was smarter than half the people working here. He just didn't have the right degrees. Didn't go to the right schools. Exactly, Victor said with a cold smile. In the real world, potential means nothing without credentials. Your father was a nice man who fixed computers. Nothing more. He was more than that, Liam said, his voice shaking with anger now. He saw patterns nobody else could see. He understood systems in ways that... Kid? Victor cut him off, walking to the window with his hands in his pockets. I'm going to give you some free advice. Life isn't fair. Your father died doing manual labor because he wasn't smart enough or educated enough to do anything else. And now you're here, desperate, hoping that maybe your dad left you some secret treasure. But he didn't. Because people like your father don't solve problems like epsilon. People like me do. The cruelty in those words hit Liam like a physical blow. He saw Olivia's face crumple, saw her clutching Mr. Whiskers tighter. Emily stood abruptly. Victor, that's enough. No, Emily, it's not enough, Victor said, turning to face Liam directly. This child needs to understand reality. I've spent $50 million over 5 years trying to solve epsilon. The smartest people on the planet have failed. And now a 12-year-old with no education, whose father was a glorified handyman, thinks he can do what they couldn't. He laughed. Not a small chuckle, but a full, mocking laugh that echoed off the conference room walls. Tell you what, Victor said, clearly enjoying himself now. Let's make this fun. I'll give you 5 minutes at my best computer. Show me this solution your daddy left you. When you fail, and you will fail, you leave and never come back. Deal? Liam looked at Olivia, saw the hope dying in her eyes, saw her believing what Victor was saying, that their dad had been nobody, that they had nothing, and something broke inside him. I don't need 5 minutes, Liam said quietly. I need 5 seconds. The room froze. Even Victor stopped mid-laugh. What did you say? I said I need 5 seconds. Liam stood up, walking toward the computer Emily had been using. My dad didn't leave me a solution. He left me the key to seeing the solution. And once you know how to look at it, epsilon isn't complicated. It's obvious. This I have to see, Victor said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. He gestured grandly toward the computer. Please, child genius, show us how it's done. Liam's fingers touched the keyboard, and the world shifted. Later, Emily would describe what happened next as the most remarkable thing she'd ever witnessed in 30 years of computer science. Victor would never talk about it publicly. But everyone in that room would remember exactly where they were standing when a 12-year-old boy proved that brilliance has nothing to do with age, credentials, or circumstances. Liam's fingers moved across the keyboard faster than most people could follow. But he wasn't typing frantically or randomly. Each keystroke was precise, deliberate, like he was playing a piano piece he'd practiced 10,000 times. 1 second. He opened 3 command windows simultaneously. 2 seconds. He input a series of commands that made Emily gasp in recognition. 3 seconds. He pulled up the epsilon equation itself, the impossible problem that had stumped the world. 4 seconds. He made a single change. 1 line of code. 7 characters. 5 seconds. He hit enter. The screen flickered. Numbers cascaded down in sequences that suddenly, impossibly, made sense. The equation that had been chaos transformed into perfect order.